Cignal Ultra at least taking one game from Execration did boost definitely their momentum.
Yes, and speaking of
Or rather
momentum,
morale.
speaking of morale and momentum, let's not dilly-dally anymore. Let's head straight to our draft. Cignal Ultra versus Execration, game number 2. A Ling and a Cho. Ban onto the side of Cignal Ultra. Barretts?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they really trying. I mean, probably they don't want to face what they did. I mean, they don't want to taste their own medicine because banning the Ling, wherein you know that Hate has a lot of heroes, been the Harriet earlier and been godlike for that specific hero, still has the Lancelot. But I guess the ban here, that show will gonna be a permaban. They really respect how Benny Cutie using this hero. It's I think it's one of the best show players here on the MPL. Oh man, it was. This is gonna be a definitely a different strategy coming from Cignal Ultra because earlier they don't have this option to do side lanes, side lane pushes coming from the Ling because he can with the flinch poise. He could just jump around and going from a side lane to side lane and giving Execration a hard time and giving them an option if they react. They might lose another objective. If it didn't, they will still lose. That's gonna be a turret.
Yeah. One of the things that I think why they banned out the Cho on first pick, because usually you don't go for a first pick Cho.
Yeah.
And what you do is you try to ban out other heroes for the other side, which actually leaves the red side open for a Cho and another offlane. And that's what happened here for the side of Cignal Ultra. They were thinking if they were on to the right side or the red side, they could have left that Cho open. They play one main Cho as well. But on this certain setup that you have a lot of first pick potential heroes, then you cannot set up the Cho. You do not give that to the red side.
Yes.
That's the dynamic of the drafting patterns.
Yeah, I guess that I really guess that was a very on point analysis, Butters. And what's on point here is that looks like Execration doesn't want to face what Ben Sanity give them. I mean, we've seen that in the first 5 minutes, Hate doesn't even having a buff on its own, and he cannot be able to go on the top lane, even on the bottom lane. I mean, the reaction coming from Execration during the first game was very, very late because they don't. I mean, Hate is not capable on doing it.
Yeah.
But Esmeralda gonna be the priority pick here for Cignal Ultra. Khalid is open. Yuzhong is still open. We're in. That's the first pick of Execration.
And they just showed, Cignal Ultra just showed us that the Yuzhong is a non-factor if going up against them. They treated that Yuzhong in a way where it wasn't really that much of a threat. But onto the side of Cignal Ultra, I like this first pick because you ban out the Cho and you get the Esmeralda and you really had a lot of things going on for you.
Yes.
But surprisingly,
the
Roger is out.
Roger is out, and something to note, this is not the usual Roger on the mid lane because Harriet was still here as well. So that just indicates that that's going to be a gold lane and jungle might be. So this is going to be a split in the buffs. So yeah, this might actually work. But I was actually looking or about to ask you earlier before Execration was about to pick these two heroes is will they be getting the Basha?
It could be a possibility, right? Like right now, Cignal Ultra can just deny pick that. They can just go for the Basha right now, and they can secure a good game for their Esmeralda.
Yes, but if they're gonna be picking up Basha, it's not gonna fit on their lineup because they do have this Natalia, and Natalia works best if its support is like a Selena and not having the usual hard tank. This been used consecutively, like Bran, they've been doing it. The Natalia and the Selena.
You know what, Rob? If you notice the draft that both teams did here, even without that third pick onto the side of Execration, that is automatically a very greedy first two pick setup.
Really
their first base is greedy, and they get the Baksha, and even so. They did a very greedy setup
because of the Harriet.
Because of the Harriet and the Roger.
Yes.
Those heroes don't go hand in hand. But onto the side of Cignal Ultra, it's actually kind of aggressive as well. Not as greedy, because you're not really putting two core heroes, mid lane possible heroes here to the side of Cignal Ultra into one umbrella, into one face. But if you look at it, this is still an Esmeralda, this is still a Natalia, and this is still a Yi Sun-shin. You're giving them a lot of information in terms of where the damage output is gonna come from.
Yes, yes. It's like, yes, you can be able to pick the Roger from that point and get a side laner.
Yeah.
Even the Basha was a good pick on that, the first two picks for the side of Execration. But revealing both, you just gave the mid end as well with your gold laner, and the only ones left, it was the tank was there. So
Yeah.
what's just, I mean, what's lacking here for Execration? It's just literally Etomax hero and as well with Sagitnu. Or probably they might use like a Basha side lane. I think they were one of the teams who did it. Just placing Basha on the side lane, going against 1v1 for Esmeralda, and might be the Chaknu hero wasn't still available right now.
Well, one Chakno hero was taken out onto the side of for the side of Cignal Ultra. They take out that Atlas. Now, onto the side of Execration, they can give that straight to Baksha, to Chaknu. But they can actually give it to Sagitnu as well. A lot of the teams here onto the side of Cignal, onto the side of a lot of the players rather to the side of Execration, they can play a lot of heroes because that's how flexible their setups are. But as you can see, Cignal Ultra, they just ban out the Yuzhong. They don't give that much priority into it. But right now, as long as you don't have that certain hero to the side of Execration that can reach Yi Sun-shin head on, because a Yi Sun-shin against a Yuzhong, you don't want that to happen. Because the thing is, Traceless goes on cooldown. It goes off cooldown if you reach a certain amount of hits on the Yi Sun-shin. But that doesn't usually happen when a Yuzhong just gets near you.
Yes, 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 definitely. Now, it's like, it's almost the same as we've been seeing on the first game, that Execration still going on to tanky heroes. Meanwhile, Cignal Ultra on somehow squishy but mobile types of heroes. So this just leaves us that in terms of offensive, is Cignal Ultra gonna be winning probably on the early game, but it's gonna somehow neutralize because they do have here the Harriet for Execration, and they don't have here the Hilda who's been poking around for the side of Execration on the first game, but they still have the Natalia to do almost the same thing. Well, squishy probably, but still gonna do the thing with the vision, but an Angela and a Jawhead. So I guess it's gonna be almost the same what they did. This Imba DJ and Ben Sanity will just poking around the box, and once again you're gonna hate both of these players because of course your buff is gonna be a hard one to take.
Yep, and as you can see, there are a lot of ways to eject that, well, not literally, but to take out that Harith from his Zaman Force. Now, this is a good strategy for the side of Execration. I can see the adjustment that they did in terms of just securing that farm for Benny Cutie and Hate here. Respectively, they're the ones who's gonna use that Roger on Benny Cutie and Hate on that Harith. Now, why did they go for Sagitnu here on the Thams? Because they know that Thams, as long as Thams can scale in terms of XP, he does not need much of those items.
Yes.
As long as he can get the Cotorant Inferno off, you get a certain amount of, how do you say this, tankiness that will be enough for the damage output that Cignal Ultra could do. Now, onto the side of Cignal Ultra, they're still aiming to take this to a very late game.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with going into the late game, but somehow, scaling wise, I mean early to mid game, I guess Execration has the upper hand. They still have this Selena, been doing really great for Etomax. Harriet, on the other hand, is going to be getting a hard time once again, getting its buff. But there's something to note here. I mean, was aiming that Ima DJ will be the one to use the Natalia, just poking around, but it's going to be Chojin. So meaning to say, it's going to be a core Natalia.
It is going to be a core Natalia.
Hold it going into the mid game. Their win condition definitely goes on the mid game to late game.
Yeah. And as you can see, there are two retributions here onto the side of Execration.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2 retributions here.
I
So
didn't
remember.
see that. Yeah, 2 retribution. They do have one for Benny Cutie and as well with, and that's, well, you could put it in a way that they might have a slight advantage in terms of bigger objective like Lords and Turtle, but a steal, not something we see. I mean, you've been the one to just invading my buff, and they're getting the purple buff for Cignal Ultra. Meanwhile, there's one dead. I guess Execration.
Yeah, and it's a death that it's a death that's very costly for the side of Cignal Ultra. Even though that they want to take this to super late game, you cannot give Execration the extra gold that they need to get to that power spike that they want. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we do have their event, Trickster's Village event. Get Halloween candies for treasure spin. Each spin will cost 4 Halloween candies, and you can get up to 7 each day. And with 10 spins, Rob, you can get guaranteed that there is a special skin, Hammer Giant.
Yes, very, very good skin here. A special skin, rather. But what's very special is that Hate is really doing well on early game. He's been able to kill the Natalia onto the top lane. Well, now it looks like that Execration is on a better position compared to what they had earlier. It's just this Natalia is not really working for them. Look at that, the Zaman Force, but the ejector for Hate might actually go down.
That was a heads-up play for Bensanity. Arrow won't connect Etomax here. He's not having fun with this.
Yes, and what's interesting is that Chujin did live on that skirmish, but into the top lane, look at that. The Falling Star Moon will be hitting Benny Cutie. Just going out. So, it looked like this. Cignal Ultra been, well, I guess they still can hold it on, but they really need those skills coming from Chujin. I mean, this draft is meant to kill heroes on the early game. If that's what Hades cannot be able to do that, Chujin, it's gonna be taking Hades a hard time scaling, because it's gonna lessen his map control. And look at this, Execration just going into their purple buff.
And we do have our fight here. Hades here is their target. Heartguard is there. Hades, will he fight? Imba DJ here went out, and he wants to deal as much damage as possible. And another invade failing here onto the side of Execration, but Cignal Ultra, they want more. Arrow will connect, but it connects to the wrong person. Chujin here will go down. There is a Gitlu trying to go for Rhea. Rhea here, will he get hit with the Abyssal Arrow? No, he won't. Benny Cutie with that secure, but Cignal Ultra, they don't care about that. And Rhea here will go down. Bensanity is the next target, and he will go down as well. But the turtle went to the side of Cignal Ultra.
Yes, they shouldn't have chased that. I mean, the Wisest and as well with the Angela just went through the turtle, and after the kill, probably the first kill or the execute coming from Chujin, they just have to just back away.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they did kill someone there, but they totally got wiped out. I mean, there's just 3 members there, and there's a slight miscommunication coming from Cignal Ultra.
The nature of the lineup here for the side of Execration, Rob, is, as you can see, you need to get the early objectives just to have a better spike. But then again, for the side of Cignal Ultra, what they're doing here is they're not really fighting it as much as possible.
Yeah.
They're not going for the fights. It's all about Execration just forcing them to be taken down.
Yes.
And if you think about it, that is actually a very smart move for Cignal Ultra, because you went straight for the turtle. That could have given a lot of advantage for the side of Execration, and while everything was happening, you just went straight for one of their objectives, and you denied it.
Yes, denied, but Rhea will not actually live there. But Hate, which actually go, Ejector was still not available for Bensanity. Chaknu been tanking both of the hero, or rather 3. It's actually gonna go down here, Buggers.
And the armor coming out from the Heartguard isn't enough. Was it a bit too late? I think
it is.
It was late.
It was indeed late. Now, it looked like Execration is back on the one to hold the tempo here for this second game. Bensanity, not something we see like what he did on the first game, but still doing okay. But Arrow from Etomax will hit. And now, so we're here going towards the mid game. So what's gonna be who's winning condition? And well, just to rub it in, it's that Benny Cutie is actually unspoiled, or rather is not being touched for like less than 5 minutes here in the game. And I guess he's been scaling way too much.
Yeah, and speaking of scaling way too much, that is one thing that Sujin cannot do. There's a lot of pressure going onto the side of Sujin, and right now Execration gets that turtle. At least they have an answer. Roger will go down, and there is a lot more emphasis into the getting the objectives for the side of Execration. Why? They have 2 retributions.
Yes, they do have 2 retribution, and Windtalker has been already available for the Roger, and that means he could be able to clear waves, he could be able to deal damage as well. And it's gonna be probably a good snowball for Execration from this point onwards. Now, but Ben Sanity is still doing great with its ejector. Will they be able to bring down Cignal? They're not going to be chasing in, and they do know that Hate is just waiting around the bush.
Yeah, that is a great move from Cignal Ultra. They did not really force things out, but I speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they got
someone
impatient.
Forced it.
Yes, Shojin got impatient, and I really like how Hate anticipated that one. And now Cignal just rolling here, getting out, but still gonna live there, ladies and gentlemen. But now Execration, they're been the one to commanding here for the side of Cignal Ultra. Will they be able to take this tower? Zamanpur was down, and yes, oh my god, it's like Execration been fueled up what they did on the first game. It's totally different right now.
It is totally different, but as you can see, Etomax and the others, they're using those brushes to their advantage. They're not really letting Imba DJ and the others control that, and they've been getting a lot of these pickups just going for those death brushes. Now, Ben Sanity here is the next target by onto the side of Execration, and Execration will take him down. Chujin going 1v1 against the Roger. Well, 1v1 against Benny Cutie. But Benny Cutie can only do so much against Natalia.
Yes, and the Lycan Pounce will actually save Benny Cutie.
He actually dodges.
He did. And Cignal was just right on time to show up the rest of Cignal Ultra. Meanwhile, Chujin dying onto the bottom lane. Rhea still not capable to bring down another. But it's still not going to be enough. Hades will be taking down, and another one. Cignal. I guess Cignal Ultra did one there, but they are losing their bottom lane.
They lost their bottom lane. Angela wasn't there. Ben Sanity, his unstoppable force, got dodged by Benny Cutie.
Yes.
That Lycan Pounce was perfectly timed. Didn't hit him. That could have been the damage that they needed. But onto the top lane, at least Hades made things count for his team.
Yes, and the Gillette instant replay here just showing us what just happened. Hashtag save the day. Look at here. I mean, Benny Cutie been dodging left and right, but Hades will still be enough to be able to bring him down. Another kill on the top lane. But the difference between that 2 kills is 2 turrets down for the side of Cignal Ultra. Now, I'm really concerned on Cignal Ultra on being able to tank, specifically on the late game. Because Ben Sanity is nowhere to do that right now, because the damage from Benny Cutie, damage from Hate, even Saget Nu is providing damage right now because he has been going for like a attack damage. He has endless battle right now, and will they be able to bring
Benny
down?
Cutie,
Like
he is the target here for Ben Sanity. Ben Sanity doesn't have the unstoppable force. Benny Cutie does have the damage to take that Jawhead down. Hades here with a collapse, and that is a perfect execution in terms of pick-off. Execration, they got what they wanted. Onto the top lane, there is a push happening, but doesn't matter as Rhea is forced to go back. And that is Execration marching on with just one mistake. Things are about to go to Execration side.
Yes, that was very costly pickup that they did there. I mean, they could be able to pull it off, but it's just right. Cignal was just right in time to cut the reinforcement coming from Hades, and just leaving Ben Sanity after the ejector that he did on Benny Cutie. But yeah, that was very costly for them, losing their base turret on the bottom lane.
And as you can see, Angela is just staying onto the side lane because the Heart Guard can be popped anytime and it still would be a 5v5. Shojin, however, getting spotted. I like how aggressive Execration is, even though this is a Natalia. I like the fact that they contest every bush in the game because they know Natalia will come from there.
Yes, and the mid turret here for Execration is really giving Cignal Ultra a very I think they might be on the lower end for the side of the team fight because I mean Execration still has their own mid turret while the Lord is still up. So besides that, they do have here 2 Retribution to somehow give them a higher chance to be able to last hit the Lord, but a team fight might actually happen here.
Hades almost getting hit, and Sujin here almost always spotted out by the side of Execration. Can he get out? Can he get out? Yes, he will. No, he won't. He gets stabbed by that Synchro Fission, and he goes down.
He really did go down. I was looking at Hate that one. He actually thought he has the Cyclone Eye, and that's the reason why he actually used the Synchro Fission. But regardless, the Lord will be taken here down by Execration. Arrow will connect Ben's Sanity here, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Execration, a very commanding lead here going into the late game.
And this is how you do it, Execration. They are gonna take this 1-1 if the pressure doesn't stop onto their side. Lord is gonna go down to bot. That is a good path for them in terms of, you know, just meeting the Lord in that certain area, because if it goes to mid, that means it takes a shorter time for the Lord to get there. But onto the bottom lane, they can plan it a bit. They can just, you know, contemplate if they are gonna go bot, mid, or top.
Yes, bot, mid, and top, but here the Revitalize will just save Shaq too. That Sanity is ready, been down, going in. Zaman, of course, is still dealing a lot of damage. Shojin is going down as well, but Benny Cutie will be the casualty for Execration, but still the Lord is still up. Here, Butter, Sinis who's winning. Looks like Execration been taking tower after tower here for a Cignal Ultra.
And Hades here going straight for that siege minion, and right now, the Lord is gonna go down. Execration here, happy with what they've achieved there. They take down the mid lane turret, and right now they want more onto the top lane.
Yes, well, this is a very undisciplined Execration. They don't want to take too much of what they had. They are on the lead and they don't want to lose it. But that ejector, it started it all. I mean, Chaknu was the only ones available since basically he's on the front line. But he is not someone you wouldn't want inside your base, because regardless what happened, he's this Revitalize, he has this ultimate, and everything is just goes nuts for the side of Cignal Ultra, and they don't have the burst damage that they need to bring down the Basha.
Immortality is onto the side of Bensanity. It rhymes.
It
actually.
really rhymes.
Well, actually rhymes as well.
I like how you did it.
You know what? Execration, they're really looking good right now. Endless Battle, Queen's Wings, and a Molten Core or Molten Heart onto the side here on Sagitnu. I like how they are actually getting those casual stuff, but it's probably gonna go for that cursed helmet. Benny Cutie, the Natalia pick, it doesn't really work for Execration.
Yes.
The amount of time that Natalia has been seen into the map, you really have to give that a lot of credit on the side of Execration, because some of the teams really are afraid when the Natalia they don't see the Natalia on the map. But Execration, they can almost pinpoint every single time where the Natalia is at certain points of the game. Hades here is not gonna go down, but that doesn't matter as we